Hey, TikTok, we're still on here. Oh, that's right. They're not going to change it until next month. I keep forgetting that. Nonetheless, Jeepers Creepers, man, from the other people that do their postings on here, um, it seems as though the general consensus is that Donald Trump really isn't too far. Donald Dump. I don't like to use his real name. Donald Dump is really not too far away from becoming a dictator. And I've heard this from a couple of different very brilliant sources that when they evaluate everything that's going on around him, he's pretty much almost there. And again, folks, I said this over and over and over again. He's just a front man. Everybody in the shadows is suggesting to him what he should be doing, which means that he's really not the thinker that everybody thinks he is. But nonetheless, it's happening. We have to be very careful. Um, I really don't believe in my soul. I guess I don't want to believe in my soul that we'll ever allow that to occur. I have the highest respect for the military, especially the one, two, three, four-star generals that were the real generals, not the ones that got replaced by these megas. All right, they're just a bunch of schmucks. The real generals, the ones that really know our country and really know our Constitution and really know how to work our military. I think that they're going to come out of the woodwork and they're going to put a stop to this. They're the only ones that can right now. I mean, our Democrats are working hard. Again, many times over and over and over, I've mentioned that, Mr. Newsom and Cory Booker and I sometimes I just want to smack myself in the head. The female senators and House of Representative females that are out there uh, uh, holding the Republicans' feet to the fire and bringing forth the truth. Lord bless every one of them. May they all get excellent karma. The same with the people that show up at these town halls and picketing out there on the streets. I pray that every one of you get good karma. Because the only way we're going to get our country back again is if we band together. That's it. If we band together, we're the majority, we can make it happen. We can make it happen. So, I've been going through another bout of depression. I guess I have my highs and lows because I so much miss my Sharon. I love her so much. And there's nothing worse in a human's life than to watch his wife go out of the house in a body bag. She died quietly, peacefully, and happily. And I know she's in a good place. So, I mean, my soul is at rest with that. But still, those visions are still in your mind that this woman that you love so very much, that you work so hard to try, as her caretaker, trying to take care of her. The last vision you get to see of her is going out in a body bag. It's really not the last thing you want, the last thing you want in your mind. But so I'm having my ups and downs, and I'm still unable to find. And that was back in June 18th. Still unable to come across a woman that would be compatible with me, who is, will fit some of the criteria. She's got to be compatible. I don't want her overweight. I want her to have her own teeth, and I want her to be healthy. I cannot take another sick woman. I had 8 years of that, and I couldn't deal with it anymore. We would, right now in the beginning, we would cohabitate. Whatever happens beyond that is whatever happens beyond that. Nobody can predict the future. If I could have predicted the future, I guarantee you my Sharon would still be here. So, back to the politics. I see that Epstein has sort of quieted down, huh? You notice that they don't listen to the victims? Has anybody noticed that they really don't pay attention to the victims, to the girls that came forward and told the truth about that woman that, she was the recruiter. She took part in the sex acts with them, and she gets a get out of jail card and goes to Hotel California. So, wow. And then there's another terrible thing today. A young man went to a Catholic school and shot it up and killed 2 young kids and wounded a whole bunch of others, and then took his own life. I guess he was like 22 years of age. And they keep saying we have to ban assault weapons and this and that and everything else. And I can understand that. All right, although I'm a gun enthusiast. So here's the problem. I told you I'm a moderate Democrat. I'm 80%, 90% liberal, but there's still that 10% in me that, I have the feelings that, I believe the guns should stay as they are. But the thing that everybody says, we gotta ban these guns, we gotta ban these guns. All right, and I understand where you're coming from, 100%, totally. But the thing that troubles me more than anything else is the underlying psychological factor of the person who's doing the killing. Their brain snaps. This boy thought it was a good thing. He liked it. He got off, I guess, on they found out that when they went into his computers, he was all into violence and things like that that excited him. And in one of his manifestos, he said he couldn't help himself. So he goes and he shoots up the place. I understand, but how can you predict that somebody's going to snap? How can you predict that? Every single one of the murderers that went out and killed children in schools, they snapped. They go into this other psychological euphoria in their brain that there is absolutely no way that anybody could tell that they're there. Oh, every now and then they leave clues. Like this kid that did it today. The mother knew that the boy wasn't right. She even voiced her opinion about it. But you can only do just so much. How can you tell that somebody's going to snap? Right now, as I'm talking to you, there's somebody reading this or listening to this that could very well tomorrow lose it. And how do we know that they're not on some of these medications that we see on TV? Have you listened to a lot of the disclaimers on these medications that they have on TV? There's a whole slew of them that says, thoughts or actions of suicide. So if you take this medicine, and this is the thing that drives me really nuts. So if you take this medication, there's a possibility, they say, contact your doctor if you have thoughts or actions of suicide. If you have an action of suicide, what are you going to do? Come back and say, hey, doc, I took the medicine and blew my brains out? I mean, how do we know that they're not being driven by some of the medication that they could have been on in the past or that they're on now? I'm just bringing that up as a point. Because if you listen to those disclaimers on TV, there's a good portion of them that have that disclaimer, thoughts of suicide or actions of suicide are in the actual disclaimer for the medicine. So how do we know that these kids didn't have some other kind of medication, that they had taken that could have caused them to go there? There's no predictability to when somebody's going to lose it. Whether they drive a car into a whole group of people, whether they make a bomb and blow up a building, there's no way of knowing. So, Lord, my heart goes out to all the mothers and everybody out there. Peace be with us. Stay safe, stay smart. Don't be complacent. Be aware of what's going on around you. And, I don't know what to say about these ICE people. I don't want to get into that right now. I thank you very